share my screen. Here we are. Okay, so hello, this is Insta-WHAT and how to hashtag. I kind of come up with this on a bit of a spur of the moment because there was a bit of a need. So I want to share with you my desktop because I have some things to show you. So this is kind of the plan. I want to tell you why I love Instagram. Who are you on Instagram for? The debate of public versus private profile. Who are you serving? Who are you on Instagram, your profile? Who are you serving? Your feed versus your stories. And how to respond to comments. Then we'll talk about hashtags. I'll talk about some of my examples of my favorite Instagram accounts to follow. And we can kind of look at some together if we have some time. And then some burning questions. If you have them as we go along, just unmute and ask, okay? So I want this to be really kind of as it happens. So I want to start off with telling you that I am not an Instagram expert. I'm not. I just love Instagram. And the reason why is because Instagram is very visual. And when it comes to my eyes, I am very drawn to amazing photography. I'm drawn to bright images. I love pictures. Pictures to me are exactly what we need and what we need to focus on with this business, which is storytelling. I take photos of my kids. I share them with my dad or my mom or my husband. But my teacher family members, my parents and my sister, will look at a picture of my kids and they'll go, that is a picture prompt. Now, if you're a teacher, you know what that means. If you're not, a picture prompt it's an image with no words around it. It's just a picture that is to spark an idea or a story in your head that you are then going to take a pencil or a pen or whatever, or you're going to start typing and you're going to write a story based on this image. And this image is going to be part of this story. So when we look at an Instagram feed, you need to look at your images as a picture prompt. This is part of your story. This is why I love it, because through my feed or through the feeds of others, and the other cool thing about Instagram is you have full control of what your feed looks like. If somebody is creating a story or adding something to your Instagram feed that you don't like, you can unfollow and they won't necessarily know or care. Or if you have, if you're really wanting recipes, you can fill your feed with Instagram accounts that are full of food. If you have a love of photography like I do, I have a couple of photographers that I love to follow because they're like around the world photography that is, I just find super beautiful to look at. So you have full control over your Instagram feed. Whereas on Facebook, you don't. You can't control, you can unfollow your friends, but they're gonna probably notice and they're gonna probably be hurt by that. And it's gonna be like, why aren't we Facebook friends anymore? Because, right? Like we've all had that happen where you're like, well, I'm not friends with so-and-so on Facebook, and because now apparently that's the marker of good or not in our friendship in our lives, but it's really not the truth. So with Instagram though, I find it to be a much more kind environment to be in, personally. You get less politics, less attitude, less flashback, and way more control over what kind of things you want to have when you scroll, okay? So that is why I love Instagram. This is my personal opinion. This is not coming from anywhere, but I do have something that I want to show you. I did on Instagram, I kind of hopped onto this really randomly. I don't even remember where I found it. If it was like one of those things that was like on my Facebook feed. It was like, learn more about Instagram. I was like, okay, sure. So I was push play on it and listened to it while I was cleaning my kitchen one day. But this is a really great, it was a little webinar kind of thing that I did. And here's just some facts that came from that when it comes to Instagram. So now Instagram is continuing to grow. And it says that in 2017, Instagram saw the fastest user growth rate in its history. Instead of slowing down, it's actually growing faster, okay? We are spending more time on social media than we are in our email boxes, which is why email is kind of getting the back burner. Okay, and it says, according to studies, people are turning to Facebook for news and friends and family, but posts are super opinionated and really political or really kind of like hot and heavy, and things can get really heated on Facebook. And I think we all have seen that firsthand in many occasions, right? So with Instagram, though, it is a visual showcase of your product, your business, your journey. It is a visual story, okay, which I am all about. This is why I teach early learning. I like visual stories. I like things with minimal words and lots for me to look at, okay? And so this is why I would suck in junior high, all right? So in other words, people are more interested in brands and things and product on Instagram. They're looking for inspiration. They're looking for new ideas, and it's more of a creative place than it is Facebook. Facebook's a lot more dramatic, okay? Instagram versus Pinterest, because remember when we were, when I first started getting into MLMs, they were like, oh, you need to start, and actually I had a little like at-home Etsy sewing business at one point that was kind of thriving at one point, and everyone's like, oh, you gotta post your stuff on Pinterest. I'm like, but Pinterest is like, it's like too much. It's like is sensory overload for, I think, for a lot of people. Again, you can't narrow Pinterest down enough. It kind of just gives you what you get, and then you get to like sort it out on your own. But there are more people, 4 times more people on Instagram than there is on Pinterest, which is interesting because I think I joined Pinterest before I started Instagram, or it was kind of like at the same time. Now, I am not a huge Snapchatter. Apparently that's the next one I need to figure out. But Instagram still has more users than Snapchat. 50% of them are on Instagram stories daily, whereas the influencers are 30%, there's more engagement, okay? So Instagram overall is kind of winning right now, which is really cool. And I find it the least intimidating. So I'm hoping that by showing you this or just sharing like a really gentle kind of walkthrough of things, I want to remove the intimidation of Instagram for you tonight, okay? So who are you on Instagram? Now, what I mean by that is when you look at your profile on Instagram, what does it say? When you look at your profile, it would be like, okay, for instance, Taryn that's on this call, her and I were put on a blind date when we were in New Orleans. We did not know each other, but a mutual coach of ours decided that we needed to know each other. And so she literally was like, here, go, make friends. And so we, within 5 minutes, kind of like got to know each other with our husbands along with us. And since New Orleans, we've spent the summer talking to each other almost daily. So that worked out really well for us. But in 5 minutes, I was able to tell her about me. She was able to tell her about herself to me. And we're like, hey, this is cool, let's rock and roll. Like it was a really quick meeting. So on Instagram, your profile is kind of like your social media blind date. You need to be able to give a snapshot of who you are. Now, I want to show you my original profile. This is what mine used to say. Okay? Wife, mom, crafter, teacher, Star Diamond Beachbody coach, photographer, balance junkie. There's my website. Now, if you don't have a website, don't freak out. You're not missing out in the world. Nobody expects you to have one. I just do because I wanted one, okay? This kind of gives you a taste of who I am, but it's kind of a lot, right? So I was kind of painting this picture of a jack of all trades, which I still am all of these things. But when people come to my profile, is this what I want them to see? Like, why would they be following me? Well, goodness sakes, I don't even know. They could pick one of 7 different things, right? So after I took this little training bit that I showed you a little snippet of, I did some changing of my profile. Here's what I changed it to. Thriving boy mom, plus balance junkie, plus food and fitness enthusiast, plus lover of bare feet, dirt, and tacos. Come join my crew. There's my website, okay? So do you see how this and this, still me, but how your profile can give a real little like chunk of who you are, okay? But it still needs to paint a nice picture of what people are gonna get from your feed. My first profile was doing that, I feel like, but on some reflection and and what words do I want them to pop out. So like I emphasizing I'm a boy mom, like this is my life. I didn't ask for this, but this is what I'm getting. And I'm all about balance and food and fitness is my thing. Note that nowhere does it say that I'm a Beachbody coach. Okay. I removed that because yes, Beachbody is our jam and yes, the tools, all the things, but our pictures that we post are going to paint that picture. And if you look at some of some of those coaches that are doing a really darn good job of Instagram, if you looked at their Instagram feed, you wouldn't even know that they're with Beachbody. I mean, you would know. But if you were Joe Schmo from across the street, they wouldn't necessarily know because of the images they're using aren't being super specific. Like we're not shoving people into fitness land. Do you know what I mean? So when it comes to now your profile, I want you to take a look at it. Do the words you have in your profile, do they paint a good snapshot that if you and I were out on a blind date, if all I could go from is your Instagram profile write-up, could I find you? Right? Does that make sense? Yeah? Yeses? Thumbs up? Okay. All right. So something to kind of reflect on. All right. So now, public and profile, public versus private profile. Okay, guys, I totally get the whole wanting to keep our people and our four walls safe when it comes to social media and such, but we are in the business of relationships. And it drives me the most crazy when I'm on Instagram and people comment on my pictures. Then I want to go and like see what they're about. And it says private profile. I'm like, okay, great. I have no idea who you are. I wish I could see a little bit of who you are, but I can't. So I'm going to just move on. Okay. You have control of what you post on Facebook. You have control of what you post on any social media outlet. So when it comes to Instagram, if you're worried about your kids, don't post about your kids. If you're at all like worried about any level of the things, if you're worried about getting like inappropriate comments from the men of the world on social media, be aware of what you're putting in your pictures. Keep your girls covered. Like use some modesty. Like it's gonna, you know what I mean? Like we are gonna attract what we post. So if you're doing it with a modest lens, if you're doing it with some intention, then things are going to be okay, right? There's some people that are like posting their kids in the bathtub with their butts hanging out, and I'm like, well, I'm not sure I would put that in my kids. I mean, I have pictures of my kids in the bathtub, but you see like their faces over the edge. Do you know what I mean? Like it's the appropriateness of the image for social media because it goes out there and we have no control over it past when we push post. Okay, so use those filters. This is kind of common sense that isn't always common, and we have to kind of put that into the forefront of our thinking. Okay, so I have my Facebook and my Instagram completely public because I get to control what I post. Now, do I get some weird comments sometimes and some like opinions and things? I'm like, yes, I do, but I don't let them go past reading them. I don't respond to them. So you have control to block people. You can block people on Facebook. You can, you are able to then guard your things. But again, you are posting with intention. So you probably aren't going to get a lot of weird things back at you. Unless maybe you boost something and then you forget who your audience is that you're boosting it to. And then you get weird things happen. I had one of my coaches have that happen to her this past week. So I would encourage you for the sake of your business to put it public only if you're comfortable with. Please don't feel like I'm pressuring you to do any of these things. Again, these are all my opinions. You got to kind of sort it out for yourself and we can talk more one-on-one if you want to talk to me more about it. So who are you serving on Instagram? You need to think of your Instagram feed as something that is not selfish at all. Now, I used to think that way because I want to show you. This was my previous Instagram feed, okay? Pictures of Luke. I had All my pictures kind of had words on them. I mean, it worked. It looked great. I was tagging Luke in these pictures, tagging Noah and Bo. Here's Bo's dirty hands. There's my dad having a nap with Luke. Like, it was really in the moment, completely fine, painting a picture of my life. Here's my Own My Skin story bit that came up. Being creative with words. Like, this is all very okay, right? Being real, like, I'm real too. I still have skin that's hanging after my babies, right? And this was very okay. Like, this is not a horrible feed, and I knew it wasn't bad. But I wanted my pictures to paint a different picture. I knew that I needed to change something, and I wanted to also give my professional development, the PD books that I was listening to, a chance to shine. So what I did is I got some inspiration from some other Instagram people out there. And I mean, I could say it was from one coach, but I mean, I look around Instagram and this is everywhere. Essentially, you have 9 images. When you go and look at somebody's profile, you have 9 images to grab someone's attention. Okay? So if I don't like you in the first 9 images, I'm out. So you got to kind of think about that. Your first 9 images are going to they need to paint the picture of who you are. So what I did is I changed things up. This is now what my feed looks like. Note that there is a bit of a pattern. Now, I'm not saying you need to do this. All right? Please don't take this as this is what you have to do to make Instagram awesome. I'm not saying that at all. If you want to have a pattern to your things, do it. I like it because then I feel like I am being more aware of what I'm posting. Whereas before I was just kind of like throwing things out there. And I would sometimes post 6, 7 times on Instagram if I was having an exciting day. Now I will maybe post 3 times. The purpose of these images is to grab their eyes. You want to grab your viewers' eyes in their feed. We call them scroll stoppers. And Janelle, since I started coaching, has always been Carrie, you always have such great scroll stoppers. Think about that, you guys. Now, then the question comes to me, well, Carrie, how are you taking your picture? All right, take a look at this picture of me running with Luke right here at the lake. My phone, here's my water bottle. My phone was sitting like this on the dirt using my front camera and the timer in my phone. I hit the 10-second timer, I hit start, and I went and I ran back and I put my foot up on there to stretch. I took it 3 times because the first 2, I didn't actually use the timer. I couldn't see it. And it was like literally me like scrunching like this at the camera. It was not appropriate or attractive. So that didn't happen. But you know, like you got to learn how to take a good picture if you want that to happen. Now that could be a whole nother team call that I could teach you about taking good pictures. But again, I have a slight edge on that because I grew up with a camera in my face and I'm a photographer. Like I'm literally actually waiting for a girlfriend of mine to phone me so I can go and take pictures of her birthing. So this is, these are skills that you can grow. You can learn them. They will happen for you as you practice them. Okay. So what I'm wanting to do in my 9 images. So here's 9 images. Let's scroll down. Here's 9 images. I'm always hoping, that doesn't always work out this way. I'm hoping that in those 9 images, you're going to see that I really like tacos, that I enjoy working out, that I live in the country, that I like to have fun, hence this ridiculous one, and that I'm giving you a recipe or a peek at how I'm eating. There's a lot of food posts there. I was being really focused on my nutrition those couple days. Okay, but I'm also being real because like this was a struggle morning, okay? And then I tried something with this image here. My Apple Watch controls my camera. So I'm able to take a picture with my watch, which is really cool. I don't know if all smartwatches will do that. I know I'm an Apple junkie, so I know mine talks to each other. So, but I want to paint a good picture so you can see, but yet I'm still inviting people for free challenge groups. I had posted about my September, Carl Deichler had that thing, if you posted this, he entered you into that prize thing lately. So I was like, okay, now how am I going to do this? Because I want to post them, but I don't want them to interrupt my pattern. So I was aware of it. Now, again, I wasn't losing sleep over it, you guys. But I was like, well, I'm just going to let it happen. I'm still posting about my kids. And I'm still using the hashtags for my children, which I'll talk about later. but I want to paint a picture. I've been canning. Here you go. Here's a transformation. So I'm still showing transformation pictures that came up in my Facebook feed that day, my memories. Shift shop results, like things are still happening, but like we went out for lunch. I didn't know that picture was going to come up, but I knew after that I was going to post about a quote, and I didn't have a great food night that night, and today I ate a whole lot of something, and 100% blame my kids. Emotional eating, here it came. So like you want to be funny, because we were on social media for a couple things: inspiration, to what do they say? There's three things: for inspiration, for humor, and for information. Okay, so we either want to be informed, we want to laugh, or we want to be inspired. Hopefully we can give them all of that when we post anywhere. Okay, so but like showing my workouts in my trailer anyway. Okay, so you kind of get an idea. Again, you don't have to do this every third picture is a quote white. I've seen every third picture is a black image. Okay, I've seen you can put every third picture as a purple background, whatever. Okay, or you could do every second image as something, because if you did every second image, you would have a different pattern. Like these four quadrants would create something, because so you're working with 9, so it's a little bit of math. I suck at math, you guys, I'm not joking, but when it comes to like timing out when your images are going to be, you kind of this is your canvas. You get to decide what your canvas and your story looks like. Okay. I hope this is not overwhelming you. I'm just hoping that there's some nuggets here that you're able to kind of grab onto and maybe apply 1 or 2 of. Okay. So, who are you serving on Instagram? Now, just as a piggyback to that, we're not posting everything on Instagram. I used to post all the things. Like I said, would have 6 or 7 posts some days if it was a really exciting and eventful day. Or if I got some really cute pictures of my kids, because I was using Instagram as a bit of something else, which I'll come to in 2 more points here. But there's a purpose for your Instagram feed, and then there's a real purpose for Instagram stories. This is similar to Facebook. There's a purpose for our Facebook feed, and there's a purpose for our Facebook stories. Now, people on Facebook, it's a different land. It's kind of like Game of Thrones. This is a different chunk of the earth over here than Instagram, okay? So with Instagram, you want to they are your pillars. The posts you put in your squares, those are your pillar posts. Write that down. Instagram square posts are your pillar posts, okay? Your Instagram stories, that's where you just share life, okay? If you go, I would actually invite you all to do this. If you don't already follow me on Instagram, go and watch my Instagram story today. It had a little bit of all the things, okay? There's a little app in the Instagram stories called Boomerang. It's a little video chunk that I made one of these earlier today. My sparkly waters with fruit, and it was like the bubbles looked cool, so I boomeranged that, and it just kind of creates a little loopy video. So, but your Instagram stories is for you to talk about your day. Okay, just like Facebook stories is. You're supposed to talk about your day and just share all the things. But your Instagram feed, those are your pillar posts. Those are the things you want to show consistently. Those are the businessy things that you're kind of grabbing them and then telling them more about in your words. You want to grab them with your image in your pillar posts and then hook them with your words. Grab them with your image, hook them with your words. Okay? And I mean, I can honestly say that my wording has exponentially grown over the past 2.5 years because of the personal development I've been doing, because of the books I've been listening to, because of the mindset that I've been really focused on. So your words will come if you don't feel like you know what to write, or if it takes you a long time to write it. Like we were in New Orleans, I was with Janelle, we were in New Orleans, and she was just like, holy cow, Carrie, like you just come up with this, blah, 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 and it's done so quick. And she was saying how it takes her some time and she needs to sit with it. And we are not all that quick. Now, I'm the ridiculous idiot who sits in front of a computer as a job when I go to school. So I'm like, I can respond to things super fast because I can actually type faster than I talk most days. So that's to my asset. But that's not everybody's thing. So you just need to know that give yourself time. That's why those pillar posts, you can take time to do them. You don't have to post them when they happen, okay? You might have some order to them, but they might not be happening as in the moment. But your Instagram stories can be in the moment, all right? So, does that make sense? Yeah? Are we all awake? Do we need a shot of something? I'm gonna take a sip of this. You're good to know? Okay. Okay. So, now, comments. As we know on Facebook, when we get comments on things, it gives our post traction. The same goes for Instagram, because did you know that Facebook and Instagram are hooked up? I'm going to tell you why if you haven't already noticed very soon. So when you get a comment on your Instagram feed, do you feel like sometimes you're like, I don't know where to start. Should I go to Facebook? Should I go to Instagram? And you're not quite sure where to be, and Instagramming messaging kind of sucks. I'm not lying, I don't really love it. And then you come over here and you're like, well, Facebook's awesome and I love Facebook Messenger. Something magical happened. I can't tell you when it happened, I'm not really sure, but I'm gonna show you something. Through my Mind and Body Balance page, when I go to my Messenger, this is what I see. Here's my Facebook Messenger, okay? I've been talking about things and getting her hooked up with her challenge pack. Here's Facebook, my comments. Look at this, you guys. These are all the comments that I got on my Facebook posts it's all in one place. So I can see these are my messages, okay? These are my comments that I can then go to each one and I can reply to right here. And look, it's the Instagram one. Because I have my Instagram hooked up to my Mind and Body Balance page, I come over here and I can see those that have commented. I'm looking at Instagram, but I'm in Facebook Messenger. How flippin' cool is that? So like, this is something to just look at. Again, please don't be overwhelmed by this at all. I've just realized this probably over the past 3 weeks. So I was kind of, hey, what the heck? This is pretty great. So now, for instance, Rita's asking me, where did you find this board? And I'm going to tell her, okay, I'm going to reply right here. I'm going to pull my screen up here so you can see. So it'll actually put her @ symbol in it, and I'm replying on Instagram. This is actually not my board, but I own one from letterboards. I can't remember what they're called. Let's come over here. I'm just going to show you. Letterfolk. There they are. That's a great letterboard if you guys ever want one. They're a little bit pricey, but they're lovely. Letterfolk. There you go. I've replied. I'm not even on Instagram, okay? Because they're hooked up. So, look how it keeps it really, it's darkened if I haven't replied to it yet. So it's just like you're getting a message on Facebook. Now, if you want to actually message these people, you need to go into Instagram to message them. That's the only downside. But these posts are getting traction on Instagram the same way they would on Facebook. They're just, because I don't know if you've noticed, like I follow 600 and something people. Let me scroll up to the top. 698 people that I follow. I don't see 698 people's things on my feed. You see the top 30%. It's the same on Facebook. We don't see all the things all the time. Could you imagine? I have 10 more minutes. So you only see the top 30%. So you want to make sure that you are responding to the people that comment so that you stay in their top 30%. Does that make sense? Okay. If you want your feed to stay in other people's feeds, you need to comment on the things. Okay, I need to talk about hashtags really quick because that's the next really big thing. Hashtags. Okay, purpose of hashtags. Do we know? Do you guys understand how hashtags work? I want to kind of clear it up for you. The purpose of a hashtag, whether you're on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, they all kind of, we're kind of using them as like loose English now. We're like, hashtag awesome, even when we talk. Like, this is what we say, hashtag Taco Tuesday. You know, this is just the way we are speaking nowadays. The purpose of a hashtag is you are adding something to a common conversation. So I want to show you, here's an excellent, I'm going to show you with my own, that if I look up hashtag capturing Alberta skies. Take a look at this. There's 45 posts. Pretty cool, hey? Guess what? These are all from me. These are all from my deck through the month of May 2 years ago. I was consistent in taking a picture, either from my deck or wherever I was, at sunset every day. This is the only image I stole from a different photographer because it was just stunning, this one with the lightning. But he takes pictures around where I call home, okay? So I took this with my fancy camera. These are images from my deck, 45 days consistent. Pretty cool, right? And they created an album, a conversation using this hashtag, okay? Here's another one, hashtag Our Bow World. 637 posts of guess who? Bo, my kid. I showed him this 2 days ago and I scrolled all the way to the very, very beginning when he was wee, and he literally sat there for half an hour looking at pictures of, this is better than a baby album, I swear to you. Because it has the quotes, it has the date I posted it, it has him in the look at little Luke, oh my gosh. And like, this is real life. Now, guess what? There's Bo's the last day of kindergarten. Yeah, now he on his face. Now we're gonna start a new day on Tuesday. So now I have big guy Noah. Now I was already really good at Instagram then. So here's Noah's posts. Things that have Noah in it. Some of them are similar to Bo's, but some of them are just Noah. Okay, so the purpose of a hashtag, look at this picture. The purpose of a hashtag is to attach it to a conversation. So now look, I didn't just use big guy Noah in there. I also use hashtag dirt love, mud, muddy puddles, rain, rainy day, raising boys, mom of boys, raising ragamuffins. If you click on that hashtag, it's awesome. 32,000 posts of kids, being dirty, being awesome. These are hashtag conversations that are gathering. So now here's the question. What hashtags do we use? It's a hard question to answer. What I did is I went into Google and I said, top hashtags for motherhood, hashtag motherhood. And this is what came up. Now, I don't really like what came up, but this gives you some idea. When I did the Google search, I said motherhood hashtags, and then it says top hashtags for motherhood. This is a good way to kind of start. But you have to look at a hashtag as who do you need to attract? You want to attract you when you first started. You don't necessarily want to attract you, all the healthy you. We have to stop using hashtag Beachbody, stop using hashtag Shakeology, stop using hashtag Core2Force, hashtag all the things Beachbody and programs and trainers, because the people that don't know about them don't know who the hell you're talking about. You can't, you're adding to a feed of people that already do those things. So yes, you're going to get likes and comments and things of people that already use them. That's not helpful for your business. I mean, it feels good, but that's not going to push your business anywhere. So you need to put hashtag rough day, hashtag depressed, hashtag postpartum, hashtag the things that were you when you were struggling, because you want to attract, you want you to show up in that feed when I go and click on that, or maybe hashtag whatever. Do you understand what I'm getting at? You need to think of the hashtags that aren't the obvious, because there's more out there. So and for fun, I actually looked up the top Instagram feeds or Instagram accounts to follow, and not by no shock, it's all of the singers and movie stars, and like Selena Gomez is like number 2. First is Instagram. Who follows the Instagram feed? What? I don't understand. So when it comes to hashtags, you have to kind of experiment, and you have to take a look at who are you trying to attract. This is where your avatar comes in, that list of who you are and the things that you love. Hashtag Birkenstocks, hashtag bare feet, hashtag sunshine, hashtag summer, hashtag all the things. We can turn into a rap, right? Like you want to attract you, essentially, but not you now. We don't want just all the healthy us. We want the ones that were struggling so that we can be a solution to their struggle, right? Okay, does that very quickly answer that? Yeah, you guys are good? Okay, So examples, or let's just skip to some questions, because maybe what I can do is I can post some examples of some really good Instagram feeds. Maybe just for fun, I'll pull up Letterfolk because they're one of my favorites. I really love it because it's words and they're on a board that I already have. So it gives me some inspiration. But look, see, we only see 12 squares online. You only see 9 on your phone. Kim Fitzpatrick, you're going to notice something. She's the one that was my inspiration. Now she uses an app called Snapseed to make this filter on her images. Her and her husband both really love this. She's a Canadian coach, wonderful couple, 2 kids. They're from Toronto area. And so they're wonderful. But this is who I got this inspiration of the picture, black and white words, picture, black and white words. Now you can also share quotes and things from other people's feeds. And I can maybe share how I do that another time because we're down to 2 minutes and 47 seconds. Questions. Let's unmute. I'm going to unshare my feed. And let's unmute yourselves, you guys. If you have a question, please ask. I'm seeing something in the chat. Are they the same on Instagram as they are on Facebook? I feel like Instagram uses hashtags more. Facebook does weird things with hashtags. Hashtags came from Twitter. Okay, so when I'm on Twitter, if I'm going on a road trip and I want to know what the road conditions are like, I go to Twitter. That's kind of the only time I ever go there. And I'm like, hashtag YEG for Edmonton and hashtag Henday, because I want to know if there's any garbage going on that road and south to Calgary, right? So, but if you're looking for freeway kind of information, that's where you go. Any other burning questions before I hit end meeting?
Question about the hashtag.
Yeah.
So, for example, would like hashtag music teacher or hashtag elementary teacher or hashtag stress teacher work at time? Like things like that.
That's perfect.
Or
you're gonna find
dog lover.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. And you can actually search the hashtag first to see if there's a lot of posts, and it'll actually kind of generate that when you're doing it on your phone.
Okay.
And you want to try and choose the top ones. Hi, Q boy. What else? Any other questions?
What UK ones are you using that are working?
None. They
know.
all are sucking right now, and I don't know why. So we have to do some work on that one. And so I will sleuth, and I will share once I know some answers I want to kind of pick. Anybody else? Just because we're really running out of time, and it's going to kick us out soon. No? Go to bed, baby.
I know. Please take a late nap.
Yeah. Anybody else have any burning questions? I hope this is helpful.
How do you do the thing on Instant Messenger? How do you link up the 2 accounts?
Okay, in your Instagram profile, you should be able to link it from your phone. Okay.
Okay.
To your profile and link to your Facebook business account, and then I think that's how it starts talking to each other.
Okay.
Because that's what
I'll look.
Mine is linked to my personal Facebook account.
I would change it.
Change it?
Change it to your business page.
I tried to do that, but there's like a way that you can't really do it. It's hard to do it. So if you
I changed to Instagram for business, I think I did, and that seemed to make a change.
Okay.
And I don't always post right from Instagram to Facebook. Sometimes I just copy my words and paste it separately on Facebook.